We got some huge news for Ripple and XRP that when I first saw it, I'm like, that's fake. That's a scam someone's running. But after I'm looking at this, no, I think it's for real. So we're going to cover that and a whole lot of other stories. But before we get into the main topics of this video, there's really two ideas that I think are important to talk about. First, that we're going to go through a bull run. And some people say, oh, this isn't a bull run. Hasn't happened. We're not getting one. Like Bitcoin's over $100,000. You can get out of here with that. This is a growth phase for cryptocurrencies. Now, are we going to complete this whole cycle and altcoins do nothing? I mean, Ethereum, nothing. XRP, it's done some great catch up. I mean, if you were sitting just a year ago at 50 cents, you're up quite a bit, but we haven't seen growth yet. You go on down the list. Cardano's not even over $1. Like, are we going to get shut out completely? Well, I think that's hard to believe for this reason. When you look at the values of crypto, altcoins specifically, this was an area that was under attack not that long ago. The SEC was trying to sue them out of oblivion. That's gone away. Those values of those assets are significantly higher today. It's just not reflective yet in the markets. It's going to. We're going to have a bull run at some time, at a time when people are adopting this technology. Your BlackRocks, Swift's getting ready to build on the blockchain, and they ain't doing it on Bitcoin. Like, we're going to be fine here. We're going to see a pop here eventually, and it's going to be quite large. Number two, this idea that Ripple's going to pivot away from XRP. Understand this. They have billions and billions of XRP. If you want XRP to go up in value, they want it to go up in value billions of times more. It doesn't matter what they do. They can launch treasury companies, stable coins. None of it matches the value of their XRP holding. Ultimately, nothing ever will. That stuff goes up a buck, they make 40, 50 billion more in market cap. Every dollar XRP goes up. There is no other business they can launch that will rival that value. They want XRP to succeed, and they will do everything they can to also assist in this decentralized asset to be used, to be adopted. Best believe that. So nowhere in their plans is there ditching XRP, or they don't want XRP to do good. They want XRP to do good billions of times more than all of us. Now, XRP should be good on its own accord, but don't think that Ripple's going to pivot away. That just ain't going to happen. Now, let's look at this chart real quick, because it's interesting. We've seen this where we have an early pop, kind of like we just went through, from 50 cents up above $3. You see the 2017 bull run. It was, at least the first part of it, kind of similar, wasn't it? We ran up from, a half a cent, I think originally, up to 40 cents. I mean, that's a huge gain in the early days of crypto, but then it just traded sideways and down for so long, just punishing people through 2017. Everyone going, I should have de-risked at 40 cents. December 17th, 2017, XRP was 22 cents, and then kaboom. Just because we've been trading sideways, we trade down a bit, doesn't mean anything. I mean, look at this. From 40 cents to December 17th, you're down to 22 cents. You lost about half your money. You're kicking yourself. And then we got the boom. This is going to happen again. We are going to have a big pop in XRP at some point in time. Its value is much higher. It's suppressed. It should be going through a significant growth phase at any moment. ETFs, people adopting the technology, regulations on the horizon. Everything about this asset tells us we are going to see something like this probably before the end of this year. I really believe we got to get out of this shutdown, and then we can move on to bigger and better things. It's just a moment in time. Now, here was the report. And again, when I saw this, I thought for sure that this was fake. Bloomberg is reporting Ripple Labs is leading a 1 billion XRP fundraise. Ripple is spearheading a 1 billion effort to launch a SPAC, essentially, to acquire $1 billion worth of XRP. Ripple may contribute some of their own XRP into this special purpose entity here, and this would be the largest digital asset treasury ever focused on XRP. Well, unconfirmed by Ripple, and this is the thing. I saw that and I go, this isn't real. The report was authored by respected Bloomberg journalists. So Bloomberg, they're no joke of a publication. And you look at, this aren't some contributors. These aren't some yahoos. This is their senior crypto reporter, their senior editor for APAC crypto issues, and also business and finance journalist that covers the Asian market and crypto and banking. Together, this trio represents Bloomberg's top-tier crypto reporting team. Could they have gotten this wrong? Could they have been fooled? Yeah, they could have. But this isn't some fly-by-night, by some contributor that no one knows who they are. This is like their biggest reporters there, and they're saying that Ripple's doing this, that they are going to spearhead the launch of this SPAC to acquire 1 billion XRP. And I also believe it because what do we see with Ethereum? Top Asian investors are launching a 1 billion Ethereum Trust to accumulate ETH, reportedly eyeing a Nasdaq shell company for the deal. So very similar. They're both moving in conjunction. Speaking about Ethereum here, this is really the weight. This is the weight on our shoulders right now, holding altcoins down. Like, this sucker just won't get going. This is ridiculous. Like, break out already. We've been waiting and waiting, and ETH just refuses to break out. And when you look, BlackRock's launched on here. They have the deal with Sony's doing an ETH layer 2. You have Swift doing an ETH layer 2. You have a lot of stuff. There is no reason for this scumbag blockchain to not go. Like, go already. It's like a weight on the whole altcoin space. I've been saying this space isn't going to run until ETH finally gets its act together and takes off, and I think it will. And when it does, it's time. That's really what you need to be looking at. When that sucker breaks out, your other holdings, they may run faster, they may run higher on a percentage basis, but that's going to tell you when it's time. And we're just waiting for that moment here. Now, Mr. Wonderful, he said ETH choked during clutch time. But when volatility hit last week, Ethereum jammed, gas fees spiked. Why is he saying this? Well, there's probably some truth to it, of course. But beyond that, he probably has some other, alternative smart contract blockchain like Sui, possibly, or Solana. Probably Solana. He looks like a Solana investor if I ever saw one. He's probably trying to say his Solana is better, I would assume. There's truth. Every blockchain has things it needs to work past. But if I was to say the basis of what he's saying is probably more to pitch something else. We see this from the bearable bull. He put the bull market is not close to over. Crypto prices are correlated to M2 money supply, and we haven't started pumping in price yet. Great chart you see here that he posted. But I'll go back to this. If you miss on a singular investment, sometimes you just got the wrong coin, right? It just doesn't do anything. XRP, while in 2021, it went up, right? It wasn't a top performer because of the lawsuit. We understand that. We recognize that. But when it's the whole altcoin space, when Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, you go down the list, when they're not breaking out into, crazy town, that just tells you there's more cooking to do here. And we're going to get there. We're going to get by this really boring and, for some people, quite scary time. We're going to get to what we're looking for. Look at Charles Schwab here, CEO, saying this about crypto. Schwab clients own 20% of all crypto exchange-traded products. And he says visits to Schwab's crypto site is up 90% in the last year. You don't think that they're looking at this saying, oh man, the users of our platform, they're putting all this money in crypto. Like, they're going to be launching their own here shortly as well. You're going to see every institution out here coming out with new funds, new ETFs, and also using and leveraging this technology. And to me, that's the more exciting part. When they start to use blockchain for the tool it's designed to be used for. We see Tom Lee saying the following, that he understands why markets are wary, and we see a lot of that out there. People are scared. You're seeing U.S. and China trade tensions, of course. You had a major deleveraging last week. Fears of private credit, we're seeing that out there. October is a month when we tend to see fireworks, and, well, we're seeing the exact opposite here. Sentiment is negative right now, but the contrarian trade is usually best. So everyone's saying, oh no, it's over, we're going down. Be a contrarian thinker. And also, this is an important one. This is interesting. Only 22% of fund managers currently are beating the benchmark. They need to chase. They need to make up for lost time, which means at some point they're going to have to make a run here and throw money into the market, and we should have a good end to this year. At least that's the plan. We'll see it play out. Lastly, Hugo saying, I can't stress how awesome the plans are for Salmon Wallet to abstract away complexity and to allow XRP holders to make transactions on Flare directly from XRP Ledger. Just make this seamless, make it easy. People are going to use this functionality. It's just going to grow like hotcakes. They're smart. They're rolling it out in a controlled manner, and it was important they did, because you saw what happened. The minute they rolled out F assets, we had the biggest deleveraging event in crypto history. And F assets, Flare Networks, it held up great. Shows it's here for the long haul, and that's what we want to see, continued success. I'm telling you, I cannot imagine a scenario here where we don't see a pop at some point here for altcoins. Again, if you have one coin that ain't doing it, maybe you got the wrong thing. When it's them all, when it's XRP, it's Cardano, when it's Ethereum, when it's SWI, when it's Solana, like none of them are doing what they need to do ultimately for a bull run. That just tells me it's a bit down the way. They're not all going to lose. They're not all going to get shut out. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.